You open the fridge thinking this time it will be different. You told yourself you will eat healthy, stay disciplined, and avoid junk food. In front of you is fresh food, fruits, vegetables, maybe a simple homemade meal. You know it is good for your body, good for your energy, and good for your future. But something strange starts happening inside your mind. It doesn't feel exciting, it doesn't feel rewarding. In fact, it feels almost boring, like something is missing. And suddenly, your brain starts shifting your attention. Images of pizza, burgers, chips, or something sweet begin to appear in your thoughts. It whispers, just something tasty, just something satisfying. Even though you are not hungry for junk food, your mind starts pushing you toward it. Within seconds, your decision weakens. Your healthy plan starts disappearing, and without even realizing it, you are standing in front of the same food you promised to avoid. So the real question is not about willpower. The real question is, why does your brain make healthy food feel less rewarding in the first place? Healthy food and junk food are both food, but your brain does not process them in the same way. The real problem is not hunger, and it is not even taste in the beginning. The real problem is your brain's reward system, which decides what feels important and what feels boring. When you see healthy food like fruits, vegetables, or a simple homemade meal, your brain understands that it is safe and useful for your body. But it does not create strong excitement because there is no instant reward attached to it. So emotionally, it feels flat. But the moment junk food enters your mind, like pizza, burgers, chips, or chocolate, your brain immediately tags it as a high-reward option. Even thinking about it can activate craving signals because your brain predicts a strong pleasure experience before you even eat it. At that point, your decision is no longer fully logical. You are not comparing nutrition or long-term benefits. Instead, your brain is automatically pulled toward the option that promises faster and stronger pleasure. And this is where the real problem begins. Healthy food is useful, but junk food feels rewarding, and your brain always prioritizes reward over logic. Now the real control shift begins, inside your brain's dopamine system. Dopamine is not just a pleasure chemical. It is a motivation signal that pushes you toward things your brain expects will feel rewarding. And junk food is one of the strongest triggers of this system. When you see or even think about pizza, burgers, chips, or sweets, your brain starts predicting the taste before you even eat it. That prediction creates anticipation, and that anticipation turns into craving. Then when you actually eat junk food, your brain gets a fast and strong dopamine spike. It feels instant, powerful, and very satisfying. In that moment, your brain learns a simple rule. Repeat this experience again. Healthy food works differently. Fruits, vegetables, and simple meals give a slow and weak dopamine response. No instant rush, no strong excitement, no emotional peak. So your brain does not prioritize it. Over time, your brain starts preferring fast rewards over slow rewards. And slowly, your choices are no longer fully logical. They are guided by dopamine signals without you realizing it. Now let's talk about something you've probably felt many times but never questioned deeply. You try to eat healthy. You open a plate of fruits, vegetables, or simple home-cooked food. You know it is good for your body and your future. But still, it doesn't feel exciting. It feels normal, sometimes even boring. This is not about taste only. This is about how your brain processes reward. Healthy food contains low levels of sugar, fat, and salt, the exact ingredients that trigger strong reward signals in the brain. Without them, your brain does not receive a powerful, "this is exciting" message. It simply labels it as safe, not special. Now compare that with junk food. Pizza, burgers, chips, and sweets are engineered to hit your brain's reward system at maximum level. The combination of sugar, salt, and fat creates an instant spike in pleasure signals. Even thinking about it makes your brain light up. So your brain is not asking, "Is this healthy?" It is asking, "How strong is the reward right now?" And junk food always wins that comparison. Over time, this repeated exposure changes your expectations. Normal food starts feeling weaker, not because it lost value, but because your brain has been trained to expect extreme stimulation. Now the real shift happens slowly, and most people never notice it. Your brain is constantly learning from repetition. Every time you choose junk food, it doesn't just give you pleasure, it strengthens a memory pattern. Your brain starts storing one simple rule. This choice gives strong reward. At first, it feels like a normal decision. You are just hungry and you pick something tasty. But over time, this becomes automatic. You see food, you feel craving, and your brain already knows what to do next. This is how a habit loop is built. Cue, craving, reward. Cue is the trigger. You see or think about food. Craving is the urge that suddenly appears. Reward is the satisfaction you feel after eating, and every repetition makes this loop stronger. Healthy food doesn't create this strong loop because the reward signal is weak, so your brain does not store it as exciting or important. It becomes neutral. Slowly, your brain starts choosing what is familiar and rewarding, not what is logical. And this is where conditioning takes over your decisions without you even realizing it. At this point, something very subtle starts happening in your mind, and most people never notice it. You begin to believe you are in full control of your food choices. You think, I can stop whenever I want, or it's just one time, I'll be fine. It feels like a normal, conscious decision. But behind the scenes, your brain is already preparing the decision before you even realize it. Every small exposure, smell of food, food videos, ads, or even a random thought activates your reward system. Your brain instantly pulls up past experiences where junk food gave strong pleasure. That memory feels more powerful than logic in that moment. So instead of comparing healthy versus unhealthy logically, your brain is asking a faster question. What will feel best right now? And because junk food has stronger emotional memory, it often wins without any debate. This is where the illusion happens. You feel like you made a free choice, but in reality, your brain followed a pre-built shortcut based on reward history. And the deeper truth is this. It doesn't feel like control is lost. It feels like you are still in control, even when you are not. Now the final question is, can you really reset this system inside your brain? The answer is yes, but not through sudden motivation or one strong decision. Because what you are dealing with is not just a habit, it's a deeply trained reward system built over time. Your brain works on repetition. Whatever you repeat, it becomes familiar. And whatever becomes familiar, it becomes easier to choose. This is how junk food slowly became the default option without you even noticing. But the same rule can work in reverse. When you start choosing healthier food, even when it feels boring at first, your brain begins to update its expectations. It does not change instantly. At the beginning, it still searches for the old high-reward foods. That's why cravings feel strong. But slowly, something interesting happens. The intensity of those cravings starts to reduce. Not because they disappear suddenly, but because your brain is learning a new pattern of reward. Over time, healthy food stops feeling like a struggle and starts becoming normal. And normal is powerful because normal is what your brain chooses automatically. So the real reset is not about fighting your brain. It is about retraining it, one repeated choice at a time. So when everything comes together, the truth is actually very simple, but most people completely miss it. This was never just about food. It was about how your brain learns patterns and then runs them automatically in the background. At the start, junk food was just a normal choice, but every time you picked it, your brain got a strong reward signal. It didn't judge it as good or bad, it just remembered, this feels good, repeat it. Slowly, those repeated signals became stronger than your logic. That's why now healthy food feels like effort, but junk food feels like a reflex. Your brain is not asking questions anymore, it is following trained shortcuts. But here is the final twist. Your brain is not fixed at all. It is flexible, like a system that keeps updating itself. The same brain that learned cravings can also unlearn them. But only through repetition, not pressure. Every small choice you make is like a signal to your brain. This is what I do now. And slowly, those signals start rewriting what feels normal. So the real truth is simple. It was never about losing control. It was about what your brain was trained to call control.